I was recently asked, what is the value of having pro wrestling training matches when those earliest performances could just be put on in front of a live audience? And that made a number of things spring to mind. In fact, that number is 7, and I'm going to walk you through all 7 of them next. I'm Mike Quackenbush. This is Till We Make It. And if you are passionate about professional wrestling and you're never done learning all about the craft, then you're in the right place, my friend. Subscribe to my channel now and enable notifications so you find out every single time that I publish. Throughout my own career, I have been very fortunate. I worked in front of the cameras as a pro wrestler, referee, ring announcer, and commentator, and I've worked behind the scenes too as a promoter, booker, agent, coach, and consultant. And today, I want to break down some of the values I see in pro wrestling training matches. That is to say, matches held in a closed environment, usually in front of your coach or mentor and possibly your training mates, but not in front of paying customers, wrestling fans. So among the most important, number 1, simulating the live experience. There is no amount of drills, games, or exercises that you could do in a practice session that will fully replicate what you will go through in the live performance. But a pro wrestling training match can provide that for you, even if the only audience observing it are the others from your training facility, your training mates, and your coaches. Pulling all these skills together, things like making your entrance, the physical mechanics of the moves that you choose, recalling spots or choosing to improvise in the moment, orienting for camera angles, working with a referee, making sure you hit certain beats and cues. All of these are things which a pro wrestling training match environment can galvanize for you. Building good timekeeping habits is an essential of performing in the ring. After watching a 5-minute practice match, if I ask the participants, how long do you think you were wrestling? The answers I get will range from 2 minutes to 20 minutes. It never ceases to amaze me. It's such a smarter choice to start building this skill in a training match environment before any promoter actually grants you stage time in their ring in front of the patrons. One of the many values of pro wrestling training matches is learning what the crowd might react to positively. And all you have to do is listen to the reactions from whomever is playing the role of the audience. Maybe it's a bunch of coaches, maybe it's the people that you train with, but it will lead you to making important discoveries about your own work. And here's what I mean. You may not even know how sweet your dropkick is until you hear everybody from your training class pop for it. You might not realize that your senton looks great until you see a bunch of the people that you train alongside lose their minds over it. When you discover the things that an audience will react to positively in your match, and then you start to structure things to emphasize those strengths of yours, you become a smarter performer. All right, and up fourth, freedom to experiment. This one is huge. To have the ability to walk out, try a new character, experiment with different beats or rituals. How about to walk out brand new moves or spots, or even to feel the freedom to change up structural elements and see how it plays? All of this is essential work for developing pro wrestlers to do, but in a training environment, away from ticket holders. Now, I do appreciate that's not every training match. Sometimes you need to demonstrate to a coach or mentor that you're ready for bigger challenges, that you're ready to move up a level. But there are those times when you might be instructed to just walk out a new idea or go to the ring and just have fun. And that gives you the license to experiment with fresh ideas or to further develop lingering ones. Hey, if you're enjoying the kind of educational multimedia I make for fellow professional wrestlers, and you'd like access to exclusive videos, essays, podcasts, book excerpts of mine, and unreleased material you won't get anywhere else, consider joining my community over on Patreon, we'd love to have you. Although it's fifth on my list, this one might be the most obvious of them all. You want to get over those rookie jitters, because we all go through it. It's better to do that in a training environment, to start to get ready for what those butterflies in your stomach will feel like just seconds before your entrance music plays. And although we never fully overcome that as performers, it's better to start facing those feelings in a training environment so you are ready for them when it counts. You've got to learn what gets you to the stage. Do you know what I mean by that? How far in advance do you need to drink your pre-workout shake? How much time will your pre-match stretching routine take? Do you need to go to the bathroom while the match before you is starting to wrap up? Whatever those things are, so that you feel like you are in the best possible frame of mind to take the stage, you got to learn that entire routine. And of course, it's best to do that in conjunction with pro wrestling training matches. That way, when you're actually entrusted with the responsibility of entertaining the paying customers, you can make sure you step through the curtain putting your best foot forward. The last of the many values and virtues of pro wrestling training matches that sprung to my mind, the ability to just fail completely, and to do so without fear that a room full of customers who bought tickets to see pro wrestling are going to turn on you and chant you out of the building in disgrace. The pro wrestling training match environment is a safe place to utterly flop as a performer. But remember, every pro wrestling match is an experiment. You need to listen to whatever feedback you get after the fact and then use that to refine the next experiment, the next match that you're going to have. I think I'd like to add 2 notes about this very last item. Up first, you are not the first person to bomb in a pro wrestling training match. You just aren't. We all go through it. It's part of our process and our development. And I guarantee you, your coach has seen loads of other training matches go just as bad, if not worse, during their career. It's not just you. Don't worry about it. That's exactly why we have these training matches in the environment that we do. It's practice. The very first time that you sit down to play a song at the piano, are you going to sound like Jamie Cullum in concert? No, I bet you are not. The very first time that your improv team attempts the Harold, will it be ready for the Second City's main stage? No, I bet it won't. All of these things need to be practiced, and that's exactly what a pro wrestling training match is. And my second note on this last item is this. Remember, when you are getting feedback after your training match, it is not an invitation to have a debate. Now, if your coach or mentor asks you a question, of course you can answer it. But that aside, when you're being offered feedback, your only job is to listen. Just listen. Do not attempt to justify the mistakes and missteps that you made during the training match. That is not what happens here. And remember, when it's all over, no matter what was said, even if it were harsh things, critical things, or things you did not like, you need to thank them for taking the time to watch your match and offer you any feedback whatsoever. So there you have it, 7 of the values of pro wrestling training matches, at least as they occurred to me. Did another occur to you? If so, or if I missed anything from my list, make sure to drop it down below in the comments. That's where the conversation happens about all of this. And if you're at that stage where you're just starting to build out your arsenal, getting ready to debut as a professional wrestler, or making sure that your skill set is well honed, then make sure to check out Toolbox. Building Better Pro Wrestling is my latest book for fellow professional wrestlers, and it emphasizes structural and performative elements of the game. I don't doubt it contains knowledge and wisdom that will help you take your performances to the next level.